Hey guys, what is up? So you might be wondering, where in the world have I been? I know all of my 37 subscribers have been on the edge of their seats waiting for me to drop a new video. So a quick update on me. I haven't posted in a long time. I guess it's been almost 2 years. But I thought 2023 was like the year for me, right? I was going to get my book published, sell tens of thousands of copies. It was going to blow up on social media, and I was going to be the new it girl of contemporary romance, rightful time, and all this. But in January of 2023, I found out 2 months before my 44th birthday that I was pregnant. So instead, 2023 was my year to have gestational diabetes and be sick and get huge and have a baby at 44. So it was the shock of a lifetime, to be sure. But I still managed to publish my book, believe it or not. I did self-publish because I was done with the querying and the pitching agents and all this stuff. I just wanted to get it out there for people who wanted to read it. So I self-pubbed, and it was good overall. Feedback has been great. I'm proud to say that it has a 4.7 star rating on Amazon, which that's where I'm at now. I'm raising my now 14-month-old baby at 45. Yay! So it's been great, though. He's amazing, and it's just been a real roller coaster, to say the least. But overall, it's just been wonderful, and we're so glad to have him. And I have not been doing much writing, hardly any writing. When I was pregnant, I could not stand even the thought of reading. I completely shut down in terms of reading. I didn't listen to a book. I didn't read a book. The only thing I was reading about was like baby stuff, baby articles on babies, because it had been 13 years since I'd been pregnant. So I forgot all of it. So anyway, that's what I read. And so it was a long time into this year, actually, until I started reading again. I'll share some of the books that got me back into it. But now I'm pretty much back to reading / listening to. I usually do a combo. I always have an audiobook and a physical book. So I'm back to reading about 2 books a week, I'd say. So I'm pretty much back to where I was before in terms of reading. And writing, I don't know. We'll see. I really am getting to the point now to where I can think about it again. For the first 6 months of his life, no, the first 8 months of his life, I was still working. And so it was impossible. Like, it's a blur. Like, I don't even have any memories from that time, I don't think, from the time I went back to work when he was 12 weeks old and then the time that I resigned. But now I'm staying home with him. So I do have a little bit more of a headspace, I think, to think about writing. That's where I'm at. So I'm thinking about getting ready to write again. So, but really the reason I wanted to come on here was because I just read Every Summer After by Carley Fortune. And I know this is like a 2022 book, I think, but I've got to catch up with, like, I haven't read any Lucy Score, like all this stuff that came out a couple years ago. I'm like, it went over my head, or around my belly, whatever. But no, anyway, I hadn't read it, had seen it obviously like so many times. And it was available on Libby, like it was one of the available now titles. And so I was like, I'm going to go for it. My cousin actually also got me Meet Me at the Lake, another one of her books, for Christmas. But I wanted to read Every Summer After first because I knew it was the first book. But I wasn't sure if it was a series or not. And I really hate spoilers, or of any kind, like in terms of, like, I don't even really hardly want to know what the book is about. I just want to like go in as cold as possible. So I didn't really do a lot of research, but I knew I wanted to read Every Summer After first. It turns out it's not a series, but I just wanted to talk about that book because I listened to it, I think, in probably 2 days. It really was all consuming. I was listening to it at every possible moment that I could. And I loved like the first 3 quarters of it. I thought they were just like fire. But then, I don't know, the last quarter of the book, for me, I was just like kind of tired of the main character. And I think this is the sticking point for me with contemporary romance, because I just do not like the low self-esteem, neurotic, anxiety riddled female character. Unfortunately, that is what I think probably 75% of the main characters in contemporary romance are like. And maybe this is a bigger issue. You guys can weigh in on why you think that is. I know that they're supposed to appeal to, like, it's supposed to be like the every woman, like anybody can picture herself in that role. But at the same time, there is a limit to my tolerance for a woman who is bashing herself, and it's incongruent with the way the main characters see her. There's 2 guys who pretty much like fall hopelessly in love with her, and call her gorgeous and sexy and beautiful, even the most beautiful woman I've ever known. And yet she speaks of herself like she has bumpy thighs, and she's always talking about how her hair's a mess, and she's obsessed with the sweat on her upper lip, which is like, I don't know, it's mentioned multiple times. So for me, by the end of the book, I didn't really care whether she got what she would need, what she wanted or not. It was just, I just didn't. I hate to say it, but I just didn't like her that much. The other thing that is, again, maybe this is me, but the past 2 books that I've read, and I'll talk about the other one because it's Varley McFarlane, and that's separate because she's my favorite. But the past 2 books I've read, I have wanted the main character to end up with the other guy, with the guy that got in the way, not the main guy. And it's like, why do I care about this super serious, super sensitive, kind of frankly boring, perfect guy, when there's this charming, hilarious, goofy, lovable, good-looking guy over here that isn't tortured and brooding and confused about how he feels about the main character. So I don't know. I guess those are just my hang-ups, but those are my major beefs with the book. But the female main character thing, I think, is a broader issue covering the genre, and is definitely not this book alone. So tension was really well written, though. The author writes tension really well, and for this to be a debut novel, it was really good in terms of the pacing, dual timeline where it's a now and then kind of story. I loved the past, though, the best. Like when she was telling the story of when she was younger and she was a teenager and everything. That was really the engrossing part for me. The part where she's now, she bashed herself so much, and it was just kind of off-putting. Like, I don't know, I guess, is this a common thing? Like, I don't know. And I started thinking about my own self, and like when I was younger, I started thinking about, because I met my husband on a blind date, which I know that shows my age, because who the heck hasn't seen each other by now, and in this day and age of social media and stuff. But we met in 2003. I know. But to think about it, like, I was super confident. I was like, I'm an egomaniac, I guess. I don't know. I was super confident. Like, if he had asked me, he never would do this. But if he said, "Hey, are you good looking?" or whatever, I'd have said, "Damn right." I don't know. Just to me, the idea of bashing yourself about your physical appearance and whatever. Maybe it's, what's wrong with writing a strong, confident female who feels really good about herself? And those are the stories that I'm drawn to. That's what I wrote. I mean, in my own book. Every Summer After, okay, overall, I enjoyed it. I listened to it compulsively, like I said, so I obviously did enjoy it. I thought it ran either a little long, or just the main character just started getting on my nerves a little too much. I didn't like how she didn't think she deserved, to be happy because of something she did when she was 18 years old. Loved the lake setting. Again, reminded me kind of my own book, because my book is set in a lake setting. A lot of it was really similar. But overall, I think this can be summed up by if you combine two stories, The Summer I Turned Pretty and Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren, which is by far their best book. But if you, and so that makes sense that I liked it because I like both of those. And so it truly is. If you liked those two, if you liked The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han and Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren, then you will love Every Summer After because it really is kind of like a mashup of those two, in my opinion. Again, it's good to be back on here, and I hope to be a little more normal in terms of my posting, but we'll see, right? We'll just see how that goes.